Hello, welcome to the first of my installments on how to make a wood rat. Okay, so let me just explain. A wood rat is, if you can imagine a hollow wood surfboard with the frame inside, we'll take away the frame and just use a foam core. So the core's been shaped undersized to allow for the thickness, which is 6 mil or a quarter of an inch thick, to go over the top. So when you get the core shaped, or if you shape your core yourself, just remember to make it a little bit undersized. Okay, so this is probably 19 inches wide. The board will end up 20. I think it's 6'5". I'm hoping to finish about 6'7" long. Thickness wise, I think it's about 2 1/4, and I want to finish about 2 3/4. Okay, so you've got your shape blank. First thing we're going to do is cut 10 mil off the edge of the rail to allow for a whole bunch of small little strips of timber. So when we cut the rail off, we'll have a flat edge, and we'll glue these strips, a whole bunch of them, go all the way along on both sides. Now, I don't use any clamps when I do that. I just use polyurethane foaming glue. I put a little pin at each end when I lay them all on, and I just sort of stand there for about 10 minutes and pushing them down, because as the foaming glue dries, it tends to lift up a bit. There's not a lot of weight there. You don't need anything clamped on there. You just need to seal off. You can use fiberglass, mix up the putty, and use a putty. That'll work fine. Okay, so these strips have got bead and cove. So you've got a little bead on this one, a little cove on the other, and they all just lock together. So when you go around the outline of the board, they tend to lock in a bit better. You don't get any gaps. Okay, so once I cut the edge off, I'm going to mix up some waterproof wood glue, and I'll thin that down with a bit of water and put a bit of colour in it, waterproof water-based paint. Colour that up so when I paint it on, I can see where I'm going. And the reason I do that is I'll just put a bit of seal on there. Because we're doing a whole bunch of strips of timber, you can get a little leak in there, or if you do get any leaks, you get a whack, get a ding on it, or you bump into something and you put a little fracture in there and you don't know about it. You can get a bit of a leakage going on. It very rarely happens, but if it does, you've got that waterproof protection there, so it doesn't absorb into the blank. So once we put all the little strips along the rail, then we'll get the longer strips, which are still the same as the other ones, 1/4 inch thick with a bead and cove, same. And we'll steam these pieces of timber. I usually do the bottom first. We'll steam these over so they wrap around. There's a lot of guys using a vacuum bag, and by all means you could do that, but they're usually laminating quite thin timber, between 1 mil and maybe 3 mil thick, which is only less than half this thickness. If you try to do that with timber this thick, all you do is pull the foam to the timber and you'd lose your rocker. So because I don't fiberglass my boards, I only rub them up with wax and oils, I like to steam a bit of a curve into the timber so it follows the rocker. And I put them on individually so there's not as much pressure to pull the rocker out. I'll later on in these videos, I'll pull the steamer out and I'll show you how I go about steaming these. Okay. So this is a polyurethane core, which is your everyday run-of-the-mill what you use polyester resin on. You can use other types of foams. There's XPS, extruded polystyrene, which is a closed cell, which is completely waterproof. This works really well, except you can't. You got to buy it in one big sheet. You've got to cut all your pieces out. You've got to glue it all together. You've got to shape it, and you put a rocker in it if you want to, but there's a lot of work involved. But it is a good alternative. There's a board here. This board's got a XPS core. Because it hasn't got a stringer in it, this is just a timber piece I put in there. It's sort of like a dummy stringer, but inside there's no stringer in the foam. And when I made this board, I had a lot of trouble with the timber with the rocker because the foam was quite malleable and very, very flexy. I sort of lost the rocker a little bit. It came out okay, but I wasn't entirely happy with it. So that's why I've gone back to a core with a rocker inside. The other type of foams you can use is EPS, which they use on all the epoxy boards these days. It works quite fine too, especially some of these newer blends. They're quite water intolerant. Yeah, they don't absorb water. Not intolerant, sorry, water tolerant. They don't absorb water much at all. That's another good alternative. Okay, you can see down the end here, this is a wood wrap. I think that's an EPS blank inside that one. Fun summer board. So that's about it really. Next time I'll record some more stuff. I'll cut the rail off. I'll put the timber on, and so I'll have the timber pieces stuck on, and the board will probably be a different colour. Okay, we'll see you then, eh? Cheers.